Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This week in movie news has been absolutely wild. It actually feels like we stepped into a time machine. I mean, we've got Fraser returning as Rick O'Connell in a brand new Mummy movie with Rachel Weisz. We have a Jurassic World film that's coming out with the director of Rogue One. We have Gremlins 3 is officially happening. A new trailer dropped for the Michael Jackson biopic. We have Marvel updating us on Avengers Doomsday. It's one of those weeks where Hollywood dusts off every franchise we grew up with. So grab your drink, hit that like button, and let's break this all down one at a time. Alright, so let's start off with the big one. The Mummy is officially back. Deadline confirmed that Radio Silence, the duo behind Scream 5 and Ready or Not, are set to direct a new Mummy movie, and yes, it's bringing back Fraser and Rachel Weisz. That's already a huge win, being that fans have been begging for Fraser's return ever since he came out in The Whale. Now, this is not connected to Tom Cruise's 2017 The Mummy, thankfully. That film tried to launch the Dark Universe, and well, we all know how that went. And this one sounds more like a spiritual continuation of the 1999 franchise, the one that perfectly mixed adventure, horror, romance, and humor. It was just quite literally almost like the perfect film. It was brought everything to the table. Radio Silence's involvement is interesting because they really do a good job at tone balancing. They make horror, and they also have a way of bringing fun and full character moments. They really could pull back the spooky, pulpy vibe that is The Mummy. I mean, without losing its charm, if you get what I'm saying. And if Fraser's returning, that means we could see an older, world-weary Rick O'Connell, maybe a mentor or a legend figure. Rachel Weisz is coming back, which seals the deal. Those two had one of the best on-screen chemistries of the 2000s. I mean, that's just well known. I'm really curious if they're bringing back their son Alex from Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. Maybe pass on the torch of the story. Either way, this is exactly what Mummy 4 fans have been wanting for a really long time. Not a reboot, but just a continuation of the legacy that came before. Being respectful. Let's just hope that Universal doesn't use CGI too much and really relies on the whole adventure aspect of things. If they shoot this right, in the sweeping deserts and practical tomb sets, I mean old school John Williams style score, this could easily become one of the best nostalgia comebacks, right up there next to Top Gun Maverick. Alright, so next up, let's talk about Jurassic World, because Universal is officially keeping those dinosaurs alive. After Rebirth brought the franchise back to life in a big way, it looks like we're already getting a sequel in development, and I can't lie, this is actually sounding pretty promising. So here's the deal. Rebirth ended on that quiet but uneasy note. Humanity and dinosaurs learning to coexist, but you know it just wasn't going to last. I mean, now reports are saying that the next movie is picking up a few years later, exploring how that fragile balance might start to collapse a little bit. Once again, it's expected to bring back Gareth Edwards, who directed Rebirth, and honestly, that's great news because his filmmaking gave Jurassic its bite again, so to speak. The scale, the atmosphere, the tension. He made dinosaurs feel dangerous instead of them just theme park mascots. They felt like wild creatures again. And of course, David Kopp, the guy who wrote the original Jurassic Park, is rumored to still be involved, which is the perfect way to keep the classic science thriller DNA alive. Story-wise, there's nothing confirmed yet, but there are talks that the sequel could go full survival horror. Imagine smaller scale settings, tighter storytelling, like a group trapped in an isolated research facility where nature starts to reclaim everything. I mean, that's the kind of tension that fans are missing, and we kind of got a taste of that in Rebirth, so hopefully we get something similar to that in the next upcoming film. What I really hope to see from a sequel is the grounded tone. I want practical sets, I want slow pacing where we allow the fear to breathe and remind us what made Jurassic Park so special. It wasn't just about seeing the dinosaurs, it was about like experiencing being with them and seeing how they interact. It was really amazing. And looking at Rebirth, that made close to 900 million worldwide, proved that the franchise still has potential. If Universal can build on the sequel that digs deeper, it's gonna get bigger and bigger, and we might actually be looking at a new golden age for the new Jurassic World. Yeah, so Gremlins 3 is officially happening, and that actually blew my mind away when I heard this. Warner Brothers announced that it is releasing November 19th, 2027 with Chris Columbus writing and Steven Spielberg producing. So right away, the original creative team is back in action, which is so great. I mean, has me enthusiastic for sure. This has been in developmental limbo for decades and fans have been begging for it. The best part, they've already said that they're bringing back the practical puppets. No CGI gizmo nonsense for sure. They want that classic 80s charm and the same chaotic energy that made the first two movies so iconic. And that is what you love to hear from these studios. Early pitches reportedly focusing on what happens when a new generation discovers the old mole guy rules. Except now, in the world obsessed with screens and smart tech and constant light. So yeah, that's going to be horribly wrong, but in the best way possible. So we get to see the outcome of what's going to happen when these two things interact. If they nail the balance of horror and comedy again, cute, coddly 1 second, but chaotic little monsters the next, this could be the next big nostalgia sequel in the works. And honestly, between Jurassic World roaring back and Gremlins crawling out of the shadows, it feels like Hollywood's determined to resurrect every 80s and 90s classic. But if they come back with this much care, I mean, I'm not complaining. And keeping that revival energy going, let's jump into the world of music legends because the new Michael Jackson biopic, simply titled Michael, has just dropped its official trailer and it's got everybody talking. The movie stars Jaafar Jackson, Michael Jackson's real life nephew, which is wild because he looks and moves exactly like him. The resemblance is honestly uncanny. When you watch the trailer, you forget it's not archived footage for a second. That's how on point the performance looks. This film is going to be directed by Antoine Fuqua, forgive my pronunciation, who directed Training Day and The Equalizer. So you already know that it's going to be a very cinematic and emotionally heavy film rather than a TV movie vibe. And they're not holding back on scale either. We're talking massive concert recreations, 80s era costumes, a budget north of 150 million, which is high for a music biopic. It's up there. Now, the interesting part about this movie is the way that they're handling the controversy. The trailer seems to be mostly highlighting his rise to fame, things like the Jackson 5, the Thriller era, those iconic tours, without diving too deep within the darker chapters. And this one's aiming to be more of like a Bohemian Rhapsody compared to those gritty expose films. And that's honestly dividing fans. Some people want the full truth, others want to remember his artistry. But either way, you can feel like this movie's trying to remind audiences why Michael Jackson was and still is the king of pop. What really sold this for me is the tone. It doesn't feel like a gimmicky impersonation piece. The cinematography, the lighting, the performance energy, it all feels like a love letter to his stage presence. I mean, you get a rush from his music, but there's also a bittersweet layer underneath knowing how complex his story really was. Being brutally honest, if this were to deliver even half the emotion of Rocket Man or Bohemian Rhapsody, it's going to dominate the box office and even win plenty of awards. But what do you think? Should it have gone darker, or do you prefer this celebration of a legend approach? Either way, the King of Pop is headed back into theaters next spring, and the trailer alone already looks like it's going to be something special. And now for the big one that everybody's waiting for, Avengers Doomsday. Marvel has officially locked in its release date of December 18th, 2026, but the real excitement is right now about the trailers. And according to new reports, the first official Doomsday trailer is going to be attached to Avatar Fire and Ash this December, which makes total sense. That movie's going to pull a massive audience, and Marvel clearly wants all eyes on the Avengers again. But it doesn't stop there. Insider Daniel RPK is saying that Marvel plans to drop another Doomsday trailer next July, premiering alongside Spider-Man Brand New Day. And if this is true, Marvel's just pulling off one of their classic hype cycles. And that pairing isn't random. If Spider-Man Brand New Day rumors are true, then Brand New Day might actually tie directly into Doomsday's multiverse story. Imagine that, Peter Parker's film literally feeding into the next Avengers event. That's how Marvel used to build momentum, and it feels like they're getting back into the rhythm of things, honestly. Now plot-wise, Doomsday is being called the Infinity War of the multiverse saga. The darker first half leading into Secret Wars, where you're hearing that it'll feature Doctor Doom, Spider-Man, Wolverine, Deadpool, all front and center, which would make this one of Marvel's biggest crossovers ever. Tone-wise, expect something that is heavier, and more similar to Infinity War compared to Endgame. A lot of insiders have described this upcoming film as being chaotic but emotional. And this is exactly what the series needs. After a few hit or miss projects, Marvel needs a big make or break moment. And I can't wait to see what they pull off. If Doomsday nails the build up, then it could definitely reignite the same event level excitement that we had with Infinity War. And the fact that Marvel is syncing the trailer drops with Avatar and Spider-Man shows that they're aiming to dominate both ends of 2025. By the time Doomsday hits theaters in 2026, the hype cycle is going to be insane. And honestly, it feels like Marvel is finally gaining its momentum back again. So yeah, I mean, we have the Mummy revival, we have Jurassic World expanding, we have Gremlins returning, Michael is shining on stage again, Marvel is gearing up for Avengers Doomsday. It feels like Hollywood's firing up on every nostalgic cylinder possible, but I'm not complaining. I mean, we're getting legends, icons, dinosaurs all in 1 year. I mean, it's exciting, it's fun. But let me know what you think down below. Are you one of the ones that are hyped up, or are you not interested in any of these films? Are you ready for the Mummy comeback? Are you curious about Michael? Are you saving all your energy for the Doomsday trailer? But if you enjoyed that breakdown, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on your notification bell so you don't miss any more videos like this and any other content I make. Thanks for watching, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.